It's 4 o'clock in the morning and it's starting to get light. Only kidding, I'm not gonna. Whoever that was. 1, it's not starting to get light. 2, I can't sing. 3, that song's not really my jam. So yeah, don't worry about that. It's probably fucking weird what I'm gonna say here, but there you go. Woke up a couple of hours ago. Like, I sleep well, man. My soul is peaceful. My mind is, it's different. It's peaceful. There's the alarm telling me to wake up. Wake up. Wake up. Well, today I've been awake for fucking hours. Why is that? Why is it I woke up? Well, turns out I had to have a synchronistic conversation with someone I don't know from New Zealand who just happened to be up, and yeah, we needed to tell each other some stuff, so that's interesting. It's a bit inconvenient sometimes waking up in the middle of the night to talk to strangers and shit, but there's lots of pros in that for this intuitive living and this whatever this is. So who knows, I might cut that little bit out. You might never hear this. You might. I'm looking for something. I'm not going to say it's ADHD or brain fog or fucking any of that. But the stick that I was playing my bowl with a minute ago, missing. So, humour me. There we go. Can't see the wood for the trees. So yeah. This is why I woke up in the middle of the night. So I got a thought to do something on Christmas Day for all of you. It was a cool thought. Felt nice, felt like the right thing to do. It felt like it might be a little bit embarrassing, a little bit like putting your head above the parapet. Yeah, I can hear some of you like, what, more so? Fuck me, Tim, you're mad. But truth's truth, innit? You got to share what you got to share. So, this is important. And it's not for all of you. Maybe 1 in 100. I'd like it if it was half of you, My soul and my heart would just fucking explode if half of you got this. And like half of you will, maybe a quarter of you will eventually. But know this is my soul speaking to your soul. This is my consciousness speaking to your consciousness. I'm not talking to the part of you that judges, that thinks, that criticises, that plays small, that projects onto others and onto yourself limitation and lack. I'm talking to the part of you that reasons. I'm talking to the part of you that knows, feels and understands. So for any of you, not any of you, anybody listening to this, if you've ever thought, right, on a really simple, basic level, is there a God? Or am I more than this physical body, this kind of meat suit, this skin and fucking bones that I walk around with? Am I more than my physical body? Have I got a soul? is there a God? So, if you can't answer a categoric no to those 3 questions, this is for you. Right, some of you know me, some of you don't. I don't know if it helps or hinders. Like those of you who really know me and have spoken to me recently or see me or know what I'm doing, you know. And that's why you're already doing this, because you feel the energy, you feel the vibration, you see the difference. You're starting to know what's possible. For those of you that don't, then know this, right? On my 17th birthday, I went to prison. They wanted to send me before that, but they couldn't send me away because of the crime, the type of crime I was committing. It wasn't deemed to be harming people or the public, because it was mostly bank fraud then. But I was a little shit. I was causing a lot of drama. I was stealing a lot of stuff. I was a pain in the arse. Stuck, trapped, no choice but to steal money to consume drugs, to, you know, run out of money to steal money to consume drugs. Shit cycle. Ended up in prison. Some of you would probably be like, well, you probably deserved it, you little cunt. Maybe I did. You know, I needed some of the learning, some of the lessons I got in there. I needed to understand, for me, I needed to understand the brutality of a system that knows how to teach its children, its youth. It knows how to teach them how to be well mentally. It knows how to teach them, you know, who they are, who their power, where their power is. Knows things about addiction, you know, that aren't taught. It's, you know, you can tell a lot about a society, right? If you want to sit back and let go of your ideas about judgment and crime and right and wrong and morality, you can tell a lot about a society when you look at how many kids, how many children that society sends to prison. And it's like, loads of you are like, oh, those fucking hoodies, those youths, they're this, they're that. And it's like, I'll tell you what they are, they're your fucking creations. The children, Gen X, the fucking hoodies, the council estates, the gangs, all the, whatever it is you think, you know, bad kids are, that's your creation. That is your shared responsibility as humans, as people that have, you know, as people that are part of the collective consciousness. Your thoughts, your actions, your beliefs lead to this, you know. I don't really go for ADHD, autism anymore. I've definitely got a bit of a, you know, hyperactive energy, and it's a fucking superpower for me. I love it and I embrace it. But, you know, a lot of people, you know, a lot of people understand that their different mind, their neurodiversity is, they call it ADHD, they call it autism, you know, whatever. The important fact is, if you sort of want to look at statistics, right, and I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but just fucking do your own research. It's shocking, whatever. I think something like 80% of, you know, young offenders, people under the age of 18 who have been locked up, incarcerated, and are being traumatised and brutalised by that system, right? 80% of them have got ADHD, right? They've got something that, you know, is medically, chemically wrong with their brain, and we imprison them. When you get out into the normal population, you know, the non-imprisoned population of under 18s, something like 3 or 4% of them have got ADHD. So what we're doing as a society, and, you know, it's great because it made me, but it's fucked because it broke me and caused me loads of pain. You know, duality. The two sides of the same coin, different, you know, top and bottom of a vibratory wave. Anyway, I digress. As a society, We are punishing people who think differently. Think about that. If you think out of the box, if you think divergently, if you dare to question what you're told, you know, you live in a society that punishes people for that. Anyway, it's probably enough ranting. Now, something that I've kind of learnt recently, I probably should have knew, but, you know, I've really learnt, is short form content has destroyed most of your fucking minds. You know, I don't know how many people will watch this video. I know not many will still be watching it now. But for those of you that are, for those of you that have chosen to listen, for those of you that know, like, you know, I might not love what you're doing. I might not love what you're doing, but on a soul level, I see you, I see the divinity in you, and I see the God in you. I see the power in you. And I'm going to give you a little gift, really, some information, some knowledge. If you haven't watched it already, there's a video on my page of a one-eyed pirate and some other videos in the Harmonic Rebellion group, explaining this in a slightly different way to me. I like the science, the occulted knowledge side of it, you know, but I'm just going to say it how it is. I've been around this work since, you know, I stopped going to prison as a child. I had to find a way to heal myself and function in the world without committing crime and without, you know, taking ridiculously large amounts of drugs and trying to shut down all my pain. So, you know, I was in a rehab by the time I was about 20. You know, I woke up to the fact that there's something. People call it God, people call it, you know, the field, people call it source, but there's something that exists outside of me. Turns out inside of me as well, but at the time it existed outside of me. It was more powerful than me, and I got told it could be what I wanted. I got told this, and this was important, and the only rules were that it was loving, yeah, that it was capable of love, unconditional love, and it was more powerful than me. Two things. Fuck it, I'm going to say this as well. The 12-step mentality, the 12-step sort of program concept, it's changed millions of lives. Really, really powerful way to deal with addiction. Ultimately, teaching the wrong thing now, because it talks about illness and the disease as an illness, and it tells people that, you know, you caught it or you inherited it or you just have it. And that's not current information, and it, you know, in its own way, belief in disease is a trap. But, you know, the principles involved in that 12-step program, and, you know, especially that idea of choosing a God of your understanding, it's profoundly powerful if you struggle with this stuff. And then, you know, the mad sort of reality possibility that someone's watching this who, you know, just to humour me, not really believe in what I'm saying, maybe, or thinking that what I'm talking about means you gotta start wearing fucking sandals and going to church and preaching to people. You know, you're wrong. This level of awareness, the gift of kind of connection that I've been given from doing this particular meditation, which takes about 7 or 8 minutes once a month. Yeah, so that's one for you fucking short form addicted, you know, people. This is quick, easy way to connect. Yeah, so like I can hold the same spot. Like I can go to a drum and bass rave, and while I'm getting ready and doing my hair for that, I can be writing a live meditation. You know, I can see world leaders and people that, you know, would be considered evil with nothing but love and be unaffected by them, you know. If you get in my face and on my road and you try and knock me off what I'm doing, which is trying to share positivity, trying to help with this mass awakening of humanity, then I've got no problem kicking your door off and coming into your fucking bedroom in the middle of the night. I am okay in the light. I am okay in the dark. My power isn't gleaned from... It's not just about being light, being all woo-woo and turning the other cheek, man. There's a war going on consciousness. Yeah, there's an energy going on in the earth that relates to mass awakening. And this is how to connect to it. This is how to get your power. This is how to get over duality. This is how to activate intuition. This is how to have an awareness around you when you close your eyes. A sort of, you know, like a 6 or 7 meters around me. When I close my eyes, I can feel the energetic and the magnetic fields of people. I close my eyes, their silhouettes are there, and they can be in a different room, a different house, above me in a flat. I know they're there when my eyes are closed. That came on 2 days after the first meditation. Doing this for 3 months. Things like telekinesis, things like being able to project your consciousness and be in 2 places at once and facilitate healing or change in another place through the quantum field. The ability to interpret symbols, the ability to, you know, use sound, use nature, use plants to communicate information, all this stuff and loads more stuff. Loads more skills, upgrades, stuff that you fucking think is Harry Potter or woo-woo or just not of this world. Like, it's happening to me, it's happening to people I know, it's happening to people who are doing this meditation all around the world right now, today. You might not like my message, you might not like my style, you might not like any of it, but you need to fucking get on board with this if you want a much, much better, much easier, much fulfilling, and you know, like, it's my understanding that things are going to get a bit messy before they get a lot better. Yeah, as a result of incarcerations and crime and degradation and, you know, being around shitloads of money and then no money, and being around shitloads of wealth and then no wealth. The speed your life can change when you're involved in the chaos of addiction, or you just, you know, do whatever the fuck pops into your mind, like I do a lot. It helps. It helps sort of. It helps you become really resilient and really good at adapting and really just really skilled at being sort of unaffected by your environment, which is a very important kind of thing to learn if you're trying to manifest new realities, or you're trying to quantum jump from one thing to another, you know, stuff like that. Anyway, 19 minutes of waffle. It's not waffle. Well, actually, it's all fucking truth. Do you know what I mean? But it's still long, and I know that your time's valuable. And yeah, so this is it. This meditation, this work, this modality is quick. It's easy. You need to pay attention for 2.5 days of every month. You need to try and be a bit nicer. You know, if you can do it, you need to not eat meat. Doesn't matter if you can't. If you can stop smoking weed or drinking or whatever else you're doing for 2.5 days, I would advise that. But, you know, the power of this is that it'll work where you're at, and if you can't stop for the first one, I guarantee after you've done the first one, you'll find it easier, and you'll find a new willingness to try a little bit harder for the next one. So yeah, there's other videos that explain the science better than me. They're up on my page. I'll put a link up after this. So it's a Christ consciousness meditation. Jesus, it turns out, all that stuff in the Bible, wrong, lies, manipulation, control, all of it. A couple of really useful things in the Bible around this, and I'm not going to get too into them. Other people do that. This is the science of it, right? Depending on when you were born, your magnetic or your energetic, bodies, they connected with, the planets and the energy of this earth and the energy of the planets, the sun, the moon, right? Sun, moon, planets, everything's got energy, yeah? This is important. When you're born, you connect with that energy, and it kind of imprints. I think this is how I understand it. It imprints on your energetic and your astral and your magnetic bodies. The time you're born imprints, and as a result of this, your pineal gland, basically, your brain produces a chemical. And again, the science says that this chemical is DMT, it's dimethyltryptamine. And the way it works is this, and this has been, tested, proven, right? So you've got a 2.5 day period, yeah, and you can find this out off like a little chart. I'll put a link up to that as well. There's a 2.5 day period when the moon is in your sun sign. Right. And what does that mean? So it basically means this. You go on a little chart and you put, I'm in Aries, and it'll tell you for what 2.5 day period of the month you're in, the moon is right. And when the moon's in your sun sign, if you are being mindful, if you're trying, to practice being more loving, being more present, if you're trying to purify your body a bit, if you are trying not to smoke weed and not to drink, if you're trying to eat better food that's better for you energetically, or fasting's really powerful way to do this as well. But it's, like I say, it'll work with you where you're at. A little bit of effort will reward you. A lot of effort will reward you greatly. And commitment to this process will reward you in ways that you cannot comprehend, and I cannot tell you with words. Your soul will sing. So yeah, 2.5 days every month, your brain produces a chemical. A lot of the scientists, a lot of the people talking about this say this chemical's DMT. It produces a chemical. This chemical's golden in colour. And what happens is, towards the end of the 2.5 days, this chemical that your brain's produced, this golden chemical, starts to drip down. It drips down your pineal gland, the back of your brain, and it starts making its way into your spine, and it mixes with the cerebral spinal fluid. Cerebral spinal fluid is white. And if you make a little bit of effort, the chemical that's produced for this 2.5 day period is golden. And this is the land of milk and honey. Interesting. There's 33 vertebrae in your back. This secretion, this golden brain chemical, this Christ consciousness energy, starts making its way down your back and your spine. It mixes with your cerebral spinal fluid. 33 vertebrae. Jesus was died. Jesus died, was killed when he was 33. The rebirthing process is 3 days. There's lots of, your body is a temple. These are temples. It's the Holy Trinity. There's a lot of stuff around 3s and 33s, A lot of stuff around that. Interesting to sort of put your attention on. But yeah, this secretion comes down. Interestingly, if you're not, you know, aware of this, or you're not doing this work, the secretion that comes down is black, like coal, like the coal Santa brings. And again, the other video will throw in a bit of that. But that's it, basically, for 2.5 days, right? You just try and be a bit better. First time. After that, you'll try and be a lot better, because you'll know the power. First time. You go onto the chart. You work out when your 2.5 day period is. You take good care of yourself in that period. You pay attention to what you eat. You pay attention to being present. You try not to have. You just try and be a better version of you. You try and be more spiritual, more loving, whatever that means to you, however that works for you. Get to the end. You do a little 7-minute meditation. You do some breathing. You just sit down. You don't need to have ever meditated before to do it. You know, it's really easy. You follow a video, and yeah, give it a couple of days. Right, if you've got this far, then I mean, I really, really love you for it, and I thank you for it. If you're not doing this work, if Christ consciousness energy, if sacred secretion meditations are not in your field or your sphere of experience or reality right now, then I implore you to be a little bit curious. Like, don't listen to a thing I say. Don't believe a thing I say. How do you know I'm telling the truth? You can't trust me any more than you can trust anything else on the television, the news, the media, the radio, the fucking papers. If you want to know what's real in this world, you need to learn to go inside. You need to learn to look at everything in terms of vibration, frequency, and energy. And you need to wake up and remember who the fuck you are. Christ consciousness medication. Medication? It is medication. It's medication for the soul. But you know, Christ consciousness meditation. Sacred secretion. This stuff. You put this on your radar and you come to it with a slightly open mind and a little bit of effort. I promise you, your life will change so profoundly. What you thought you knew, you'll realise that you just don't. You'll find that there is a way to live and a way to be, and knowledge and experience that is so vital, so powerful, so beautiful. Doesn't cost anything. Doesn't mean you have to be anything. Whatever you thought it was to be, to believe in God, whatever you think religion is, whatever you think it is to be a Muslim or a Christian or a Buddhist, or none of that. None of that shit. None of that dogma. None of that guilt. None of that pain. This is the work. This is the real work. This is how we bring in. This is how you ascend. This is how you get out of this. Fuck it, off this prison planet, really. That's what I think. Maybe I'm wrong about that, but you know, I'm not wrong about this energy being ascension energy. And I'm not wrong when I say that this is the Christ consciousness meditations, sacred secretion meditations, and you know, superconscious creation, turning thoughts into things. This is the epitome of consciousness. This is above spirituality. This is above religion. They should be put in a bottle with a cork on. This is above all of that. This is This is where you find your true power. This is how you come to know yourself. Like I say, don't trust me, don't trust a thing I say. Become open-minded. Question everything. And if you're really still here, then just close your eyes for a minute, take a few deep breaths. Get into heart-brain coherence. And just listen to what this bowl's going to say. So, yeah, thanks for listening. If you stayed here this long, then just, don't trust a thing I say, ever. Right? Question everything. Find out for yourself. Just look. Know this work is fire. Know this work is power. And, energy centres, right? I'm going to do a little bit about this soon. Fucking hell. So, these two fingers, this thumb, these two fingers like that. Yeah. So this is a mudra, right? All your fingers got energy centres. You don't know this, just do that a few times. You can feel it. You can feel the electricity in them. When you put your hands certain positions, yeah, activates things. This one, this is a prana mudra. Prana, chi, energy, life force. You put your hands together like this next time you meditate. Breathe in, God is chi. Breathe out, in the pause, God is chi. Repeat that mantra to yourself. Just do that for a day or two. You're meditating and see what starts happening. See the fields that you can connect to that you couldn't before. See the energies that you can connect to that you couldn't before. Start seeing auras. Start seeing some stuff that you haven't seen before. Start learning about how to move and work with energy. It's important. It's important that you get this information. It's important that you do this meditation. If you've got this far, then you know that this is truth. This is power. This is what we need. God is chi. God is chi. God is chi. Work with that mantra for a little bit. See what turns on.